Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in about 60 days. And in that time, Bitcoin's now gone from about 29K to 43K. It's actually hitting 44K as we're speaking right now. Let's catch up on what's been going on. We're going to go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Eold, Cardano. We're going to do it fast. We're going to do it efficient. I'll give you all my updates. We'll take a look at what the charts are showing us, and I'm going to give you my predictions for the next few days. And then we'll meet again next week, and we'll go over how those predictions went and what we see happening next. First thing, this is the Bitcoin chart. Last time we talked, it was chilling over here at, I think it was October 21st was the last time we met, about 29K. Now what we've done a couple of interesting things, right? We had one Fibonacci level, which is this green line that you see right here, okay? This green line, the one below that yellow line, is a Fibonacci retracement level that was sitting at around 36.4K. We should have seen resistance there. At these big Fibonacci levels after the golden pocket, you really want to see resistance. When you don't, and you instead see the asset riding that 20 exponential moving average, keep in mind, this is the daily chart. That is an extremely, extremely bullish sign. Now, it makes me think that we are due for a retracement. I would like to see the price retrace to this 38K level and then get support between 36 and 38 on top of that Fibonacci retracement. If it doesn't, then I expect the price to go all the way down to 32K. But even though I was calling for that drop, it's not happened. We have instead gotten plenty of support on the 20 exponential moving average, and we're starting to go back up, and we're testing this 44K Fibonacci retracement level again. The chart is starting to look like it's going to break through that level. That's what the chart's looking like. We are seeing a bullish cross forming on the RSI. We're seeing a buy signal on Market Cipher, which is a momentum shift indicator. Now, basically, if you look at this Market Cipher indicator at the bottom of your screen here, at the bottom of my screen and your screen, basically what you see is this happens in a number of ways. During a lot of trading activity, you might see a bunch of buy and sell signals that correlate with smaller moves. Now what we see is that that's happened a couple of more times with larger momentum shifts in between. Now we have another major gap between our last swing to the sell side. So we had that sell signal now with the buy signal, telling me with everything else I'm seeing, we could be looking for Bitcoin over the next day or two during this Christmas weekend to shoot up to like that 50K level. It's a possibility. I wouldn't have made this video to tell you that unless I thought it legitimately could happen. So I honestly think that we could be seeing Bitcoin shooting up and trying to hit that 50K level pretty quickly. Now, if that was to occur, I would really hope that that 50K psychological level is where we see some resistance and the price comes back down and hopefully takes a bigger drop to like that 36 to 38K level. That's best case scenario. What that'll do is that'll liquidate shorts on the way up, and then it will liquidate longs on the way down. We'll get a lot of derivative traders out of the way, and we'll get a more baselined spot price. And that's really what I want to see long-term for stability of the asset. And it'll obviously that drop allows me to purchase more. So I still have orders sitting between 36 and 38K. I've canceled all my orders below that because I just don't see it looking feasible that it's going to drop 10,000. I don't see anything in the cards for that. Right now, the only thing that I think could cause that is if the SEC outright said they're not going to approve any spot ETFs, right? That they're just not going to consider them. Something like that could make a drop, but that's not going to happen either because the SEC has to move forward, and they are moving forward. We're starting to see a lot more conversations occurring between these important funds and the SEC. So a lot of that hype around the ETF is why things have gone up. And now we have the halving coming closer. We have essentially the Fed moving into loosening policy. I mean, they haven't loosened yet, but they're stopping the hikes. Pausing is usually a precursor to loosening. So we will see if the Fed loosens policy, the halving occurs, and a Bitcoin spot ETF is released. This is going to be one gigantic year for Bitcoin and crypto. So keep an eye out for all these things. I'm watching them very closely. I have my low order set, but I'm still dollar cost averaging. I just made some purchases today at around 43,800. I made some last week at around 42,000. My dollar cost averaging strategy is always in place. You guys know this. Every week, 2 weeks, I'm placing orders. So my orders sit on the order book. And if I find that those lower orders aren't going to hit, I cancel them and I do a spot buy. So I keep doing my dollar cost averaging. Okay. At the end of the day, when you look at this, just keep in mind RSI looks like it's about to flip. Buy signal on Market Cipher. MACD looks like it's about to flip with a golden cross. And we've been hugging that 20 exponential moving average on the daily chart. We just recently bounced off of it, and we're starting to look like we're going to see a move to the upside. Okay, that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. At the moment, news is the most important thing, so keep an eye on the news. I'll give you whatever updates I can on X, and I'll try to give you another video pretty soon, and we'll see if that 50K call actually hits. I'm curious to see if it hits. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go to Ethereum now. With Ethereum, okay, the main thing that you really see here with Ethereum is that ETH kind of broke out of all of its prior targets. So we got to get rid of a few of these. First, we got to get rid of this triangle. We don't need this anymore. This channel here, I'm going to leave, because this channel, if we do have a massive drop for Bitcoin, this is the channel where you would expect to see support. But I definitely think that this trading channel is kind of invalidated now. And what we really will end up seeing, so instead of deleting these, I'll just hide these so you can get a better, clearer picture of this Ethereum chart, right? What I really expect now is during a dump, we're looking at 2,000 as our support level. So any orders that make sense now, you're more likely to hit orders in the event of a drop are between 2,000 and 2,250. That's pretty much it, right? Your less likely orders to hit, but still feasible, are all the way down to 1875, where you have the 200 exponential moving average. Anything below that is just unlikely right now unless Bitcoin has a major drop first. That's what we're seeing with Ethereum. Everything on the Ethereum chart looks fairly bullish as well. We are seeing that it's holding the 45 level on the RSI. MACD is starting to flip. I don't really use Market Cipher for Ethereum. I'll start doing that starting the next video. Overall, for me, Ethereum is, a part of my holding. I'm not actively accumulating it right now, but if I was, I'm telling you where I'd be doing it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to take a look at Eold now. So Eold's pretty exciting. I'm liking this because Eold has finally broken out of this long-term descending channel. This has been a very important one. Remember what I told you whenever we were down to these levels where this red dotted line was? I've shown you this so many times over 6 months. Basically, that red dotted line was my buy line. So anytime we were close to that line is when I was accumulating. And that's what I did. I'm glad I did it because now everything I bought at around $20 is, up 200% basically. So worked out really well. I hope that you are also purchasing at these levels. It was a very smart purchase. Albeit, everything seemed risky at the time. And even I took it with a grain of salt, and I didn't invest as much as in retrospect I wish I had. You know what I mean? I wish I bought more Eold here, but I bought enough, so I'm happy. Right? I also bought more Eold like at this level when we were at the 40s. So I did my dollar cost averaging. I've enjoyed the gains and I'm doing well. Overall, I'd say the bags of Eold that I bought when it was way higher, like 100, 200, those are still down. But I'm looking forward to see what happens with Eold during this next bull market. I think this is literally just the beginning, and it's up 200% from its lows. So keep in mind, this is a very, very bullish sign. If the markets were to have a massive drop, the first place you're looking for crazy support for Eold is at that $42 to $46 level. So for me right now, that's where I'm setting buy orders. I hope that it's not going to drop that far. I mean, I'm still doing dollar cost average buys, but my thought is that if Bitcoin drops to around 38,000, Eold could easily see the prices go down to 50 or to 45. And if it's going to go there, I'm going to buy there. So, I'll probably be looking at how Bitcoin's doing before I set some of those orders, but I think it's where we are most likely to get the value buys right now. If you're trying to set other value buys, the only logical place based on the chart is on the top of this trend line from that descending channel. That descending channel trend line could very well become the major support line during a massive dump. So if you want to try to get value Eold right now, the places to put the orders are between $40 and $45. And if you want to try to get real value, and you think there's going to be a major drop, then you're looking at around 33 to 34. But trying to predict that 50% drop is a very difficult thing. I don't know if I would lock up any of my money in a 50% lower order. You know what I mean? I would rather just buy Bitcoin or buy Eold at spot at that point. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as far as on the upside. Okay, so when we look at Eold now, we got to zoom out even on the daily. So when you look at Eold now, the next thing that you really see as being a major point for where you want Eold to break is this level here. This acted as a major support level during that prior bull phase. And right now, we are hitting that level as resistance. So this is essentially between $63 to about $80. It's a big range. That's the range that we want to go in. We want to see Eold go up to 80 and start trading. We want to see volume like we saw here on the way up. Same way that we got support on the way down, we want to see resistance on the way up, build up more volume, and then shoot out of there and go back into this parabolic run that took us all the way up to $500-$600 during the last bull market. Okay, so yeah, about $542 where we topped out. So I think we could very much see a similar kind of thing, but before it has that massive move, I want to see a lot of trading here. In reality, where Eold probably is right now is the equivalent of where it was down here. Now, what that means is Eold had a massive move up where it went from about $44 to about $200. Well, an equivalent move here would be going from about $62 to about $300, and that could be before the major move up to a top. So keep in mind, Eold has a lot of potential for movement here, but what's really going to be key is where DeFi investors flock when they all start coming back in. So keep that in mind. It's really important that Eold stays active and trending and all these kind of things, and people know what the blockchain provides, and we start seeing that community come alive again. Because I'm telling you, in the next few months, when the markets start booming, the investors are going to be coming in looking for what's going to have the major tops during the bull market, and I am willing to bet that Eold will be one of them because technology-wise, it is still one of the best. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that now. One other thing that's really important about Eold on the daily chart is that we are also seeing a minor flip here in the MACD. It's kind of correlating with everything else. We're staying above the 45 level, also very bullish, and we have been riding this 20 exponential moving average, a little more parabolic than everything else, but it makes sense because it's been undervalued for some time. Stay careful with your orders. Make sure you're dollar cost averaging, and just accumulate what you can while the prices are low. That was really the key at $20. It's still the key at $60 because the truth of the matter is if the expectation is that the next bull top is going to be $500-$600 or more, upwards, like maybe close to $1,000 or something, if markets head in that direction, then you can't really go wrong wherever you're buying right now. So if you have a strategy to accumulate and you have faith in the asset and you want to accumulate it, well then now's the time to kind of come up with what your strategy is going to be, what you would be willing to have as a cost basis, maybe to even bring down your cost basis from the last bull market if you never sold. So that's kind of where I see things with Eold. Chart's looking very bullish. Everything going on with the team is very bullish. I see a lot of reason for promise here. So let's keep it in mind, and we'll check back in with a larger Eold update video sometime soon, because I really do want to go over everything that's happening with the team, everything that has been coming out as far as roadmaps and what we're expecting to see as innovation continues. It never stops. Okay, we're going to move on now to Cardano and wrap there for the day. So with Cardano, very similar to what you saw with Eold, there was this long-term descending channel. We broke out of it much earlier, got support on it, kept moving. We took another huge drop when there was some news from the SEC calling Cardano a security. Then we jumped up again, we consolidated. With everything else, it's had a parabolic move up. It's gone from about 24 cents to 62 cents. Once again, a massive move on par with the same type of move that was made by Eold. You're seeing this happen with a lot of DeFi assets right now, mainly because they were severely undervalued, right? As soon as a little bit of hype came back to markets, these things went up, 100% plus. So because of that, that they were undervalued at these levels. It's unlikely you see these levels again unless there's a massive drop. So what I want to see as a support level for Cardano is holding this 20 exponential at 54 cents, but I think that 40 cent mark is going to be the major support level if the markets take a dip. On the way up, Cardano has a pretty simple target for right now. It's 62 cents. If it moves up, the next area of high volume is right here between 85 and 90 cents. You're going to see a lot of volume there, and then $1.20 is the next major resistance level. And we're talking upwards of like 50 to 100% from where it is now are these levels. So if Bitcoin makes that move up to 50K and everything else in DeFi follows, you're probably going to see some of these moves start happening where, Eold goes up to $80 and Cardano goes up to like 80, 85 cents. These are the type of moves that I will be expecting from these top quality DeFi assets as Bitcoin starts proving that it is in fact in a bull market. These assets are going to follow. They're all undervalued. And an honorable mention, honestly, is Polkadot. Polkadot has had a massive, massive year. From October, the last time we met, it was sitting at $3.60. It is now sitting at $8.22. A massive move today. Polkadot would have been a great one to buy here too if you were trying to take some profits. We'll start looking at this again. It is one of my holdings. I've always thought that Polkadot was a great project, and I've always held it. I'm also holding Matic and some Doge just for kicks. And I'm even still holding that Pepe that I told you I was going to buy and keep to the top of this bull market. So I'm still holding that too. We'll see how these things work out. I'll give you a better holistic view of my holdings and the other assets I'm looking at the next time we meet. But this is everything for today. I hope it was a good amount of information for you. Caught you back up to where my head is. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it took so long. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. Drop me some comments, drop me some likes, all that jazz, subscribe, whatever. Hit me up on X. I try to respond to everybody. Just leave me replies. That's the way to get me. I don't look at DMs too much, but I always look at my tweet replies and all that stuff. So reply, we'll chat, and I'll see you again next week. Peace out. Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday. Later.